Good morning. Thanks again for joining me for another edition of Status Hearing, where we'll be checking in with the body for the day and really making an attempt to start the day mindfully, with intention, with purpose, and maybe thinking about what's important to us for today and maybe what we want to let go of. We'll start with mindful breathing on the back. While you're getting yourself situated, I wanted to talk about again those rear external energy lines and front external energy lines. So, again, this is a way of helping you focus while you're doing really anything. You could be standing in line at the grocery store, but it's something that you can turn your mind to. It's body centered, and it encourages you to become present, to focus on what's going on in front of you rather than to let your mind run away with thoughts that may not be productive. So let's start with that idea of splitting the body in half vertically. We have a right half and a left half. On the right side, on the outside of the front of the body, the external or the exterior surface of the body, as opposed to the interior, which would be medial. So on the outside of the left side of the body, in the front, we have our front external energy line, our front outside energy line, and it runs from the ends of the toes up the outside of the outer thigh in front. It runs all the way up the core. It runs up the shoulder. It runs up the outside of the arm to the palm of the hand. And it also branches off to run up the outside of the neck, up the outside of the cheekbones, and all the way back to the corner of the head, the upper corner of the head. So we have this line on the outside of the front of the body. It runs up. It's an energy line. And we can think about just drawing energy from the earth by just thinking about energy helping us stand up tall. Now, for us to be supported vertically and energy directing upward, we have to cycle that back down. So wherever we have an action, there's a reaction. So in the same place, in the back of the body, we're directing the energy down for support. So in front, we direct energy up for for support, for standing, for expanding, for growing. We direct back down along the back for grounding, for stability. And again, I like to think of it like a bird in a nest. The bird explores, it leaves. That's what's going on with this upward energy. We're exploring, we're growing. And then the bird comes back to the nest for support, to get a little strength, and goes out again. So it's kind of like coming back to ourselves. Ironically, in the back, we come back to ourselves, directing that energy down and into the earth, almost like where it originated. So let's start with the diaphragmatic breathing. As you inhale, fill the belly. As you exhale, allow the belly to fall. So see if you can relax all together. Just don't even think about ups or downs, or relax in between your eyes, your jaw. Relax the sides of your neck and the back of your neck. The more you can slow and steady this breathing, the more involuntary the diaphragmatic movement can become. If you're not comfortable with it, or if you sit all day, it may be difficult to sense the expansion of the belly and the relaxation. And in that case, you may find yourself pushing on the belly a little bit, which is okay. It's not ideal, but for a long time, I couldn't feel it at all. I had no control over that, I felt. I just didn't have any sensations where I could feel it actually rising. So I started to force it. And as things calmed down and I got used to it, I got better at just letting the diaphragmatic breathing take over. As we continue to breathe diaphragmatically into the belly, we can add a little effort on the exhalation, pulling the navel toward the spine. And as we do that, I think when we make that effort to pull down, we start to sense more movement in the chest as well as the belly. Inhaling, filling the belly, maybe feeling the chest expand. As we exhale, we can actually pull the front ribs to the back ribs in the same way that we pull the navel toward the spine. Inhale, fill belly and chest. Exhale, chest, belly. And we'll turn to one more aspect of this, which is pelvic floor. So what I'm talking about right now is a front internal energy line. We talk about pelvic floor, navel, breastbone. We're talking about an internal energy line. But that's kind of central. We can't quite bisect that, right? We only have one pelvis. We have one navel. We have one breastbone. So exhaling, pulling the front to the back as a way of grounding. Now, let's begin to work into the sides of the body. So we started with this central breathing. Let's begin to direct energy up the sides of the body and just start at the ends of your toes and run energy up the outsides of your feet to the outsides of your knees. Circle back down the backs of your calves to the backs of your feet and circle back up. So inhale, directing energy up. Exhale, directing energy down. And I'm suggesting that you just make circles on the outsides of your lower legs and feet. Just keep circling around with your breath. And let's expand the circle now so that you're running from the ends of your outside 2.5 toes, up your feet, up your shins, up your thighs to your hips. Circle back around. So inhale, lengthen up. This is going to help you stand up tall. Exhale, ground down to support the other side of your body to help you lengthen up on the next breath. So see if you can extend your inhalation up to your shoulders. Circle around your shoulders, send it down the sides of your back, down the hips. So we're making a pretty big circle now. On your next inhalation, we're going to extend upward toward the head. As we exhale, slide the sides of the shoulders down toward the heels. So inhale, extend upward through the chest, maybe even through the neck and the cheeks. As you exhale, send the shoulder blades, the sides of the shoulders down toward the feet. One more time, inhale, exhale, ground those shoulder blades. As you inhale down, we're going to rotate to the left with the head. Be very mindful of the right side of your body. When we look in a certain direction, all of our attention goes in that direction. However, what we are stretching is the right side of the body. So I'm going to look to the left, but I'm going to focus on the right side of my body and that front external energy line, that feel and real on the right side of the body. I really have to direct extra energy up the right side front external energy line, the outside of the front of the right side of my body. And I'm going to direct energy down the outside of the back of the right side of my body. And notice what that helps you do. Hopefully, you find that that helps you deepen that stretch in the neck. If we're not mindful and we turn our head left, our whole body comes with it. It's supposed to. The problem is when we lose track of separating that and the whole body comes and then we get tense and we stay in one position for a long time. What we're trying to do is stretch right now. That means we got to fix one point and then reach the other point in a different direction. So we're going to fix this whole external energy line on the right side of the body, fix it in one place. And then I'm going to twist away with my head. And hopefully you're feeling a nice stretch through the trapezius muscles that go from the neck toward the back. Maybe even your shoulder muscles. Rotate your right hand so that the palm is facing the ceiling. As you inhale, think about lengthening up the right side feel, front external energy line. And think about it extending all the way to the outsides of your arm and the outside 2.5 fingers. And feel that lengthening maybe through the forearm. As I hold this, I'm beginning to feel the stretch. It's starting to move down even into my core because I have to firmly hold that rear external energy line. I'm grounding it. So each time I inhale, when I fill, it kind of stretches the front away from the back. On your next exhalation, stretch the arm and the neck as long, pull them apart as far as you can. And on your inhalation, gently relax. So let everything go. Go ahead and establish your feels and reels again. Front external, inhaling, running up. Rear external, exhaling, running down. Inhale, run up. Exhale, reel. Tuck the shoulder blades under. And now on your inhalation, rotate over to the opposite side. So I believe on my camera, you will be seeing me on my right side. So my head is turned to my right. But again, what am I stretching? My left side. So focus, turn the head right first. Now focus on the front external left side energy line. Inhale and just draw energy up. Feel it lengthening through the front. Circle around the shoulder and ground down through the back. And really focus on the real external energy line, because that's pinning you down in one place. The front line is helping you to stretch. The front line is expanding up and away. And same thing with the arm. The front line expands up and away. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, ground down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Maybe think about grounding the left arm as well and feeling that stretch through the left arm. So we're stretching through the neck, through the left arm. Inhaling, breathing deeply. Now, you can make this kind of difficult. You could make this kind of a workout for yourself. If you inhale up both sides, but focus on inhaling, on putting more energy into the left side, and then exhale, sending energy down both sides, you can feel yourself engaging your arm muscles, your shoulder muscles, your belly, your legs, even your feet. You might feel the bottoms of your feet pushing into the floor. All of this is valid exercise, believe it or not. On your next inhalation, we'll gently release the neck. And from here, I'm going to have you exhale, go back to your reels, your rear external energy lines, both sides. And now inhale, rotate left, exhale. Inhale, center, exhale, side. Opposite side now. Inhale, center, opposite side. Notice each time you do this, each time you turn your head, you have to flip your attention to the opposite shoulder. So I inhale, my chin comes back to center. I exhale over to the left and pin my right shoulder down. Inhale, center. Exhale over to the right and pin my left shoulder down. Inhale, center. Can I pin my right shoulder and the back of my arm to the floor? Inhale, center. Try it opposite. One more time in. We're just going to hold this now. As we hold, we're sliding the shoulder blades down the back, pinning the backs of both arms to the floor, and maybe attempting to rotate a little more deeply. And on your next inhalation, we'll come center, relax the arms for a moment, exhale opposite side, press the backs of the arms to the floor. Shoulder blades are sliding toward the back. Can you pull the arms apart? And when you do that, if you stabilize by pulling your navel toward your spine more firmly, that will help you work those muscles a little more deeply. And as you inhale, we'll come back to center. So slide your hands down by your sides, gently roll to one side, and bring yourself very slowly and gently up to a sitting position. I want to go through some of those neck mobility exercises one more time. We started them yesterday, and I really wanted to finish them. So we're going to start with the left leg in front today. Right leg. The left hand is going to come to the shoulder. So I place my hand on my left shoulder, slide my elbow back. Now, why do I do that? Because elbow comes forward, I send a hunch. So I'm going to slide my elbow back, stack my shoulder over my hip, and just start. And you can also hold on to your ankle. If sitting upright in a cross-legged position is uncomfortable, make adjustments. You can put a pillow under your hips. You can open up your legs. You could change your position altogether if you need to. You could sit against a wall, or you could sit up in a chair. So a lot of options there. We want your neck to be comfortable. I mostly choose this position because it's easy to adjust in front of the camera. There's no other reason. For a neck exercise anyway. So taking a nice deep breath in, I'm going to run the energy from the hip up to the shoulder, back down the back. I'm going to place my hand on my trapezius muscle and rotate the elbow and shoulder back so that my shoulder's in line with my hip. And then I'm going to rotate my head over to the right and down. So inhale, lengthen up the front external lines of your core. Exhale, lengthen down the back external lines of your core. Notice how engaging the abdominals helps you stabilize through the core and helps you hold those shoulders tall. As you exhale, you can sit a little more firmly on those sits bones and feel that help you. That will help you lengthen and sit up tall and stretch the shoulder. On your next inhalation, we're going to look directly to the side, rotate the head, drop that arm. We're going to switch sides here. So opposite arm here. This is a right arm, I believe. You see, right arm. Inhale, establish my lines. On my next inhalation, I'll rotate my head and look down. And then inhale up the front external energy line. Exhale down the back external energy line. And how much effort do you want to put into it? Well, you choose. I find I can really ground down into my hips. It takes a tremendous amount of strength to do that, though. It takes a lot of strength to pull my shoulder blades down to my back. If you're getting tired, it's very understandable. We don't work the core like this very often. We're always doing sit-ups or something like that for the core. Guess what? This is every bit as useful and every bit as necessary. So on your next inhalation, tilt the head so that it's horizontal again and come back to the center and relax. From here, I'm going to have you just come into a gentle twist. So just step that right foot over the left knee. Now you can reposition yourself if you need to. You could put the foot on the floor, whatever feels comfortable for you. But I want to go into this twist now because I want to just demonstrate how that grounding works in the twist, just like the neck. So I'm going to just wrap my left arm around my right knee, or I could wrap under. Just find a way to stabilize myself so I feel a little more of a twist in my left side. Now, I'm twisting in my left side. I'm going to ground down firmly in both butt cheeks, both sits bones. As I inhale, I'm going to rotate my head. The right hand, you can just press it into the floor to support your right shoulder. Notice if you pull your shoulder forward and then pull your shoulder backward, notice how you pull the shoulder backward. It helps you to sit up taller. So inhale up the feels, the front external energy lines, down the reels, and you have to work a lot harder on that left side because the head is rotating right. So my goal with this twist is just to show you that once again, with a twist, you've got to anchor yourself somewhere. And it's not intuitive because the body tends to follow the eyes. And we're doing exactly the opposite for this stretch. So that hip anchors down. And that's, I relax above the hip for that stretch. And on your next inhalation, just unwind your neck, untwist, uncross the legs. And I see I'm running out of time again. Let's go ahead and cross the legs, the opposite position, opposite leg on the outside. And we'll start with the right arm this time. Right arm comes to a 90-degree angle. Again, we'll twist the head, establish my reels, my rear energy lines, establish my feels, my front energy lines. On an exhalation, I'm going to gently drop my head as I drop my elbow at the same time. So I won't even say head and elbow. I'm going to say head, shoulder, shoulder, and right elbow. So inhale, lengthen up, front external energy line. Exhale, draw down. And those shoulder blades can sail all the way down to the hips. And now see if you can intensify that a little bit. Just pull it down even a little bit more. You may be feeling a stretch in your tricep, your upper arm. Very gently raise the hand, raise the head, rotate to center, and relax the hand. I'm going to have you bring the hand around, reach with the opposite hand. One more variation on a shoulder exercise. So the right arm is wrapped around. I'm holding on with my left arm. Again, if I'm not mindful, I'm going to hunch that shoulder up because this hip is on the outside. So pull the hand around and down. Inhale, lengthen up the feels. Exhale, lengthen down the reels. And you probably notice it's a lot easier to be conscious of the downward effort simply because gravity is helping you. I'm beginning to think the more I do this practice, though, that the upward effort has to equal the downward effort. Otherwise, we're going to be swayed in one direction. Sometimes it's easier to put weight in the back of my body. Sometimes it's easier to direct the front of my body to expand. It really depends on what position I'm in. Nice deep breath in. As we exhale, we'll just gently relax the shoulders, relax the hands. We'll finish out on the opposite side here. 90-degree angle in the arm, rotating the head to the right this time. So left arm at a 90-degree angle, head rotating to the right. I'm going to look down as I gently pull my elbow down. Shoulders stay back. Now at this point, I'm feeling a little twinge in my lower back. What do I need to do? That means I need to firm up my front energy line. That's going to lift my back and then send energy down the back. Inhale, lengthen up the front. Exhale, lengthen down the back. And of course, having to work harder on that left side because that left side wants to turn with you. On your next inhalation, we'll raise the arm, lift the chin, rotate the head, drop the arm, bring the arm around. Grab that left arm with the right hand, pull around and down. Same idea here. Both sits bones have to anchor down. You're going to find it's easier to do one than the other. And you may have forgotten about shoulder blades. Driving your shoulder blades down toward your hips, it just stabilizes this whole big rectangle. On your next inhalation, we'll release the arm. Last posture is a twist, just stepping the foot over the knee or stepping in front of the knee. You can wrap your arm around, you can wrap your arm under. The goal, though, what we really want to be mindful of is a position that will allow us to remain as straight as possible in the back. So it might just be placing your hand on the floor and leaning back slightly and holding onto your calf for stability. So we're twisting to the left this time. Again, establish your lines before you twist. Rear external energy lines. Feel your sits bones pressing into the floor. front external energy lines. Can you feel your hip bones lifting away from the floor? On your next inhalation, we'll begin to rotate to the left. Eyes are going left and the whole rest of the body wants to go left. So if that's what you're feeling, that's absolutely appropriate. Can you make an extra effort to secure the right hip to the floor? Make an extra effort to slide the right shoulder away from the ears. And now just run both circles, right and left. Inhale, hips up toward shoulders. Exhale, shoulders down toward the lower back, down toward the hips. Circle back around. Inhale, exhale. And on your next exhalation, we'll gently unwind the neck, untwist the body, uncross the legs, and come down to the floor for final Shavasana. So we've spent the last 30 minutes in our bodies, being present in the body. If you've ever read about mindfulness, or you've ever been curious about a sitting practice, a sitting silence practice, we've done that. It doesn't quite look like it frequently does in other practices, but I don't think every practice is appropriate for everyone. And some of us are antsy. We have to move. I will find that, or I will say that I can relax after a sequence of postures like that, because my muscles are a little warm. There's some blood flowing. There's some sensation there. They're not cold and remote. I feel more connected with them. And that makes it easier to feel into what's going on. If I can't connect with my body, I don't know what I'm feeling. Even in my arms and legs. So right now, it doesn't matter what you connect with. See if you can feel something from the inside. Feel the inside of your palms, or the inside of your neck, or the inside of your pinched shoulders, if in fact your shoulders are sore or tired. And you have to find that place and stay there for a little while. You're not going to stay there for an hour. But if those muscles are locked up, they're very dry, meaning that there isn't a lot of blood that can get to those muscles because the tissues are so tightly contracted. Any sensation you get is going to be from directing your attention. But when you get a sensation and you just feel into it, it does change. Sometimes there's a color to it, or it's unbending. Or there's a texture to it, it's velvety or bumpy, like corduroy. Frequently, especially in those trapezius muscles, it feels like a fence made of lots and lots of stones that are glued together. It's bumpy and it's hard. For me. But that's a positive change. It used to be black, matte, and flat. In other words, there's really nothing there when I turned my attention. Or it was something that was very hard to understand, something very mysterious. So once you locate that place and you sense into it, is it moving? Is it still? Does it flow? Does it pulse? You don't have to say any of those words. Just get curious. Is there a color, a shape, a feeling, an emotion? When we sense into the body like this, it's a way of becoming intimate with feelings, which may cause you to just flip the whole thing off and never come back. But we're intimate with body feelings. Body feelings are a lot less threatening than heart feelings. They're easier to detect and they're a lot more objective. If you can't connect with anything, you can find some pain and connect with that. Find an irritation and connect with that. It doesn't really matter. We're not judging it. We're just noticing it. We're just feeling it. We're getting in touch with it. And that's how we open up that internal world. We learn to become mindful of the body. And we start using techniques for body mindfulness when we encounter mental, social, physical stress. It gives us a way to manage. And it grows with regular practice. We've significantly surpassed our time. Bring yourself back from Shavasana in any way that's appropriate for you. Gently rocking side to side. Whatever feels good. Gently roll to one side when you're ready. Give yourself a moment on your side before you bring yourself back to an upright position. I am feeling like I would like to share more of the silence with you. So I am going to try to incorporate a few days a week, a silent sitting practice. This class will go from 7 to 7:35. And then I would tune back on at 7:45 for 15 or 20 minutes sit that I would guide you through. If you're interested in that and you would like to join, I will be posting that on the schedule and scheduling some live events for next week. If you're not interested, obviously. Frequently, I do that and I find myself completely alone at the end, and that's okay. I do hope this was useful for you. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions about anything we've done or specific requests, I sure do wish you would reach out to me either via YouTube or via email, beth@bwadelegal.com. Thanks again for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.